friends, welcome back. And if this is your first time, welcome. We've been simply tracing Jesus' steps from his passion to his resurrections. So I am glad you decided to join us today. Now, today is Good Saturday. Now, Good Saturday is simply the time where Jesus' body was laid in the tomb right after he was crucified. There are a couple of verses in the Bible that talks about the time between Good Friday and Easter. Verses like Ephesians 4, verse 8, or 1 Peter 3, verse 9. Those verses talks about how Christ went to hell to be able to raise with him the dead. So you can meditate on both of those scriptures to have a better understanding of this Good Saturday moment. Now, as far as I'm concerned today, I would like to share with you something that really caught my attention while I was meditating on what Good Saturday really is about. And while I was meditating on it, something really struck me. Now, the first thing is the state of the disciples. How were they? They were probably in total sadness, despair, hurt, hopeless. Their Lord just got crucified and he died. So on one side, you have the disciple in total despair. And on the other side, you have those who are rejoicing that finally Christ is dead. Those who are having maybe a meal, a triumphant meal, a laugh, that finally that Jesus has been crucified. And while I'm exploring both of those events happening at the same time, on one side, the disciples in total sadness. On the other side, the enemies of Christ who are rejoicing. Now in the middle, we have the body of Christ who's laying there with no movement, with no life. While he's laying there, there's two events happening. The body is in the tomb with no movement, no life, cold, almost powerless. But dear friends, I know that Christ has not been conquered. In contrary, he's conquering. So how can he be conquering while his body is just laying there? So it got me thinking that sometimes we do not see with our own eyes what the Lord is doing. When we're looking at the situation that sometimes we are experiencing, it seems like we are like the body of Christ at that moment on that Good Saturday, laying in a tomb, cold, powerless, with no hope, while maybe others are suffering and others are rejoicing. Sometimes we experience things like that, where we feel like our situation is hopeless and God is not doing anything about it. Why not defend itself? Why not the body resurrect the next day and defend itself? Why not say something? But sometimes God remains silent in moments where we want him to speak. You see, when you go in the Bible in Romans chapter 8, verse 11, the Bible said that the Spirit of God who raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. And just as God raised Christ from the dead, he will give you life to your mortal bodies by this same Spirit living within you. You see, God has placed in you the power that you need to be able to raise whatever situation has been dormant in our lives. So as I was meditating in this Good Friday, I realized that sometimes we may think like God is not working because our physical eyes cannot see what he's doing. We think the body of Christ was just laying there dead, hopeless, with no defense. Physically, the situation looked like it was done. There's nothing to do about it. But let me tell you, spiritually, there was movement. While his body, with our physical eyes, looked like he was completely dead, in the spirit, Jesus was shifting things around for you and I. So today, I want to remind you, it doesn't matter how hopeless your situation may look with your senses or with your physical eyes. Just remember that even when your eyes doesn't seem to see or discern God's plan, God is always working, even in his silence. All right? Happy Resurrection Day tomorrow. I pray that you may join us on the same platform for a special Easter service. God bless you and I enjoy our chat. Bye now.